Welcome to Persona Vibe. My name is Chris.
My name is Genesis.
And we are your co-hosts for this brand new podcast that we're starting, that we decided we were going to start like 2 weeks ago, and we're only just doing it now.
Welcome to episode 1.
To start off, so you guys can get to know us a little bit better, we have a crazy would you rather question for both of us to answer. Would you would you rather have a sing-off with Ariana Grande or a dance-off with Rihanna? Genesis, you go first.
What?
I need time to think.
Okay. I think I would rather have a dance-off with Rihanna.
Really?
Not because I know I'm going to win, because I know I'm not going to win. Like,
really? So you think there's a possibility you could win against Ariana? Okay. Elaborate.
I want to have a dance battle with Rihanna just so that I could lose and just be like, yeah, Rihanna beat me.
Yeah, I lost to Rihanna.
I lost to Rihanna. Yeah,
I was
danced
there.
To Rihanna.
Rihanna knows who I am.
Yeah.
I think I would sing off with Ariana Grande for the same exact reasons, though. I absolutely could not beat Rihanna, and I absolutely could not beat Ariana Grande.
Oh no!
But you know how expensive Ariana Grande concerts are?
That's
and then
true.
I get to sing with her.
It's like a free concert, free mini concert.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn.
Okay, well, that was a great ice-breaking question. So because it is the first episode, we wanted to discuss with you guys exactly what this podcast is and what we have set for the future of it. So we're going to discuss some of the topics that we both want to discuss on here so that you guys can decide if this is for you or not, but hopefully it is. To start off, we kind of discuss anything that we really want to. So this kind of is meant for you. But more specifically, something I want to discuss a lot is self-improvement, because I think that I want to apply a lot of that to my life. Is there anything you want to discuss specifically? Or I guess I should elaborate on self-improvement. More specifically, about self-improvement, I want to discuss Opal, which is kind of like a screen time app. I do want to get better with my screen time and also help my friends get better with their screen time, because I know it's getting really bad with all of us. And it's an app that I just recently got, and I want to talk about a lot more, and I want them to sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
We're accepting
Opal.
sponsorships. Thank you, Opal. And I also want to discuss friendships and habit building, along with the whole self-improvement thing.
What specifically? Like friendships?
Can
you elaborate on?
Something I've been thinking about a lot is like quality over quantity. And like we kind of discussed this in one of our work meetings before, how I don't really want to, and I'll delve more deeper into this in a different episode, but how I really want to work on improving the friendships that I do have instead of making more. Although I also do love making friends. I'm an ENFJ, by the way. Oh, what's your MBTI?
I forgot.
You forgot?
Yeah.
Do you have do you have it written on a note or anything?
Yeah.
I love MBTIs.
I know I'm hold on.
Are you going to take the quiz now?
No, I'm not. That's going to take me forever. I just need to see the types. I think, watch, I know how to know.
Are you just going to do like what looks most familiar?
No, I know who was on this list.
Oh.
I remember Peter Baelish from Game of Thrones on this list. So I'm an architect. I am INTJ.
INTJ. And then I am ENFJ.
Yeah.
But I also sometimes think I'm more of an introvert sometimes. I don't know.
I feel like that's a good podcast topic.
Slay.
Like
we will do that.
tests?
We'll do that eventually. I will say, before we go on to you, I'm just going to finish this off and say I also want to discuss our more unpopular opinions and rants. Because, this is going to be like every topic, everything under the sun, So yeah, and I don't know. I've had a really strong urge to share my unpopular opinions, like my silly ones.
Yeah. Along with those, I feel like we have the same topics and goals. We have like we're very similar, but mine kind of is more geared towards kind of friendship, not in terms of like I want to talk about it. I mean, I do want to talk about it, but it's like I think just using this podcast as a way of keeping me not like grounded, but like, you know, like I'm sitting here and we're talking about stuff, and then it's like helping me, especially since we're going to talk about like self-improvement, and also in terms of friendships, just being able to do it with you is just like kind of like building on.
Do it with me,
bitch. Shut up.
Sorry, continue.
Just being here in this podcast with you is like helping, in my view, kind of also build our friendship. And it's again like quality over quantity. I want to focus on like building the friendships that I already have, and this is already helping me. And in terms of just the topics, I don't know, like I don't have anything specific, but I think it's just nice to have a place to go where if I do have something to talk about, I could just be like, yeah, we'll talk about it here.
Yeah.
You know, that way I'm not just like talking to myself in my room or something about it.
I actually talk to myself a lot.
I do too.
And like living alone has really done that to me. And I know you don't like live alone, but you kind of live lonely. And so, yeah, I find myself talking to myself way too often. So it's good that we can do it here. Going off of what you said, though, piggybacking off of that, everyone knows that it's kind of like a fact that if you like talk about a topic, you're more likely to know more about it and learn more about it. Isn't that how it goes in school? Like people say a good studying strategy is to talk about it, like you're talking about it to
teach it.
Yeah, to teach it. Yeah. So that goes off of what you said a little bit, because I mean, if we talk about self-improvement, it'll help us. We'll actually do it and not be hypocritical like bitches. So because it is the beginning of this brand new podcast, Persona Vibe, we think it's important to talk about setting goals. To start off with, self-improvement topic. Slay.
Slay.
So we wanted to talk about setting goals and go a little more into what our goals for this podcast is, and share some personal ones. What does it mean to set goals exactly?
Oh, right.
We have like a definition pulled up, so give us a second.
So I don't know who came up with this specifically, but
what's the website?
This one's UNM Health Sciences Center, but I feel like there's also a lot of resources that talk about it. But they mention when setting a goal, it's important to do a SMART goal. So the S and the M in the word SMART stand for specific and measurable. And then A is attainable, R is relevant, and then T is time bound. So they give an example like a goal that is specific and measurable, walking for 30 minutes a day. And then attainable, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Relevant, walking will help to reduce stress. And then time bound, starting tomorrow for 4 weeks. So I feel like that kind of just encapsulates like setting a goal in one place.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know, because when you're like setting a goal, you're just kind of like, oh, I'm going to do this. And then you don't really delve into it. Yeah, you have to like take action into setting the goals, and because otherwise you're not going to do it, right? Exactly. Like with homework, right? You have like an assignment notebook, and like those are themselves mini goals. Like I'm going to do this assignment by this deadline, but you actually have to do it. So why is it important to set goals? I think it's important because it gives you like a path and a direction to go, and it also gives you motivation. Like one of my goals personally is to like kind of stay clean in my house. And so, I mean, without that goal, I wouldn't have motivation to do it at all. Does that make any sense? Yeah. It does.
What's another goal that like kind of makes more sense? I mean, I guess this podcast itself is a goal.
That's
right?
True.
We want to become better at it. And so for a lot of different reasons. Yeah. And so guess what we did? We rented out this podcast space. It gave us a lot of motivation to do it.
Yeah.
And we also just have to get started, right?
Yeah.
Not only that, but it also helps you like set your priorities, and it's also a really good way to measure yourself. One of my other goals that we can talk about later, that we kind of already talked about a little bit, is my screen time. It's important to measure yourself from the start to begin with. My screen time before getting Opal. My screen time before getting Opal was, I think I said like 5 to 7 hours a day.
Yeah.
Which is like, what, 23 years of my life or something that's going to be wasted. So it's important to get kind of like a control group and experiment. It's important to start off by measuring yourself so that you have motivation to do it later, because I can already see a big improvement in my screen time from using Opal. And so it just motivates me to do better, and I know that I can do better. So that's important. Anyways.
I don't know. I'm more of like a
raw dogger with life. Is that what you're gonna say? No,
no, actually the opposite. Like I feel like I'm the type of person where, in terms of just, especially like when I'm working in a place, I need to be, and like I'm starting out in a new place, like I need somebody to tell me what to do and how to do it, and then from there it's like I'm good. Like just that one time, but it's just like needing that structure and that organization in my life. And outside of like work, just in general, like in my personal life, that's why like I use a calendar. Like I can't like just not use a calendar because I won't remember anything. And I think just having goals, and even if you like do goals and you don't follow through with them, it helps you to just learn about yourself in general, because like, I mean, I would have never figured out that I needed a calendar. Like I'm so dependent on a calendar. If I hadn't started it for school or for like assignments to like get the due dates.
Yeah.
So I feel like even when you don't follow through with goals, it's still a learning process, even when you do follow through. And I think I just remember my reason. I forgot it.
Fuck. Okay, well, anyways.
Oh, I remember.
Okay.
So it's, I think, specifically in terms of our podcast, it's important because it's like we can like reflect on it.
Exactly.
Like for like a year from now, for example.
Yeah, we can rewatch this podcast and be like, this is a goal that I had set at the beginning of the podcast, and look at us now. Exactly. We know if we're doing better, like if we accomplish that goal, or if we still need to work on it a little bit more.
Exactly.
And oh, you did also bring up a good point. Like if you're a person who likes being told what to do, guess what a goal is? It's yourself telling yourself what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why I need goals.
Yeah. There are some people who kind of like to, if you will, raw dog life. And they like don't like being told what to do, but they'll like find something to do.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that's personally not how I work. Sometimes when I used to work like in the food industry, I didn't really like being told what to do, and I would kind of just, do everything. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I just don't like being told what to do, like, from like a boss. I don't like it when people are like higher up than me.
You want to be your own boss.
Yeah, I want to be my own boss. You know what? That's why we're starting this podcast. Setting goals.
Setting goals. We want to be our own bosses.
Yeah. Next. How to set goals. We kind of already went a little bit in that direction when we brought up the whole SMART thing. SMART. Smart.
Smart.
But I also do want to emphasize that when you're setting goals, you also do have to be a little bit realistic. For example, a goal that I set for myself a while ago, like when I was a lot younger, is that I wanted to like post every day for YouTube, because apparently that's how you're supposed to like do YouTube, is you're supposed to post as often as possible so that you can catch on to the algorithm at some point. And I said I was going to do that, but then I would like edit these really crazy like cut videos that are just like really stimulating, and doing that every day was exhausting. And so you kind of have to find that starting place for yourself and be realistic when you're setting goals. And you can adjust the goals over time. to make themselves harder for you. Like going back to Opal and screen time. Like it was never my goal when I first got Opal to just stop using my phone, because I know that's unrealistic. I use Instagram, and I use it for some productive things too. And like for my job, I also use it. So it's unrealistic to just delete Instagram, because I'm going to use it. And it's important to have that kind of free time to yourself as well. So I had to find that starting point. I'm going to block Instagram from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then I can use it afterwards. You know, it's important to start off small.
I have kind of like another like example. I feel like for me, I've tried setting goals in terms of like exercise. And this goes back to my point where it's like,
that is very relatable.
Yeah, so it like goes back to my point where even when you don't go through your goals, you still learn something about yourself. Because when I started like, not my exercise journey, because I'm not even on it. Like, like it's like when I started trying to get more consistent with exercise, it was hard to learn, because in my head it was like, oh, I have to go to the gym because everybody else goes to the gym. But it's hard for me because I had to find like transportation, and at that time I wasn't working. So it's like, how was I gonna get into the gym? So so it was just kind of that, and then it was also like during the pandemic doing like the at-home workouts. I was trying to be consistent with that, but then it was just like not working out.
Doing like the secret push-ups in your room, and like parents don't come in.
Yeah, like, and then now like every single time that I've set a goal where I'm like, I'm gonna do exercise every day, I would always feel really shitty if I didn't do like one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then that would make me not want to do it at all.
Yeah.
So then I'd stop. So now where I'm at, like right now, I'm also still not really consistent with it. But the difference is that if I miss a day, I don't give myself shit for it. I'm just like, okay, I can do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or I could do it. Like, it's not that big of a deal in a good way.
You know what's a really common like goal failure that I see when it comes to exercising?
What?
A lot of our friends. I remember at the beginning of the year, they would be like, oh, my entire body hurts. I did full body yesterday. And their goals ruined in a day of going to the gym every day, doing full body workouts every single day. Because, I mean, that could work, but you're going to be tired. And especially with school and everything too, like your entire body's tired after day one.
Yeah.
And you can't come back from that.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but you won't want to either, because your entire body's tired. You don't want to feel that way ever again.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Another thing with goals is you have to know yourself well enough to set goals that are realistic to you.
Yes.
And like that are attainable to you, because I know like you said, like for you, it helps working on specific muscle groups.
Mm-hmm.
But for other people, it could be like, no, I just have to do full body like every single day. Like that's just what I do. And that's fine. It's not like, I think it's just like the way that like social media has perceived specifically exercise.
Yeah.
It's like you have to do one day for arms, one day for leg, one day for, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's the same for literally every single every single like goal. I think just there's I guess a stereotype or an expectation that it has to be the same as everybody else. But it's like, we all live different lives. We all have different jobs. We're all in different groups.
Don't compare yourselves to others when you're making goals.
Yeah.
You know what's a common TikTok? I was just talking about screen time. You know what's a common like TikTok I get on my feed? It's like, this is me 3 months ago, me 3 months later, and then they're absolutely jacked.
Yeah.
You're lying. And so looking at that, if I were to set a goal around that, like, oh, if I don't have my dream body in 3 months, I failed. And then I'm not going to want to do it again. Like, no, don't compare yourselves to others when you're setting your goals. You have to know yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because the difference is like that person might be, like maybe the gym for them is like I guess like a safe space or a place to like relax from the day.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes them be consistent and going every single day. But for me, it's kind of just like another task on my list to do.
Absolutely.
So it's like,
especially as a student with a job.
It's like that, like the gym is the last thing I want to go to. So that's not my reasoning, but my reasoning is more so like for my health.
Yes.
Or because I am seeing physical improvements, it makes me want to like keep doing it to see even more improvements. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like just knowing yourself in terms of how you want to set your goal. So yeah, like even if we set goals here for Persona Vibe and like we reflect on it and we're like, we didn't do any of that. But it's like, we're not just going to be like, oh, we didn't do any of that. Like,
let's
failures.
Stop the podcast.
Let's stop.
Like, no, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah. like we're going to be like, no, we didn't do that, but we did this.
Yes.
And like, we didn't realize this was a goal and we ended up doing this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
If you try something new, especially when it comes to goal setting, like if you try a new goal, you're always going to get something out of it. Period. Mic drop. That's all I have to say. You're always going to get something out of it. Nothing is a waste.
Yeah.
No time you spent doing anything productive is a waste. Remember that.
Exactly. Because you always learn something.
Yes.
Or you gain at least something from it.
Yes.
And even if you don't, like, it's fine. You still did you still did something. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You still did something productive, which is a goal in itself, technically.
Yes, exactly.
So
another reason or another way to set goals is to set yourself a deadline. Otherwise, you're not going to get it done.
True.
And maybe that's not the same for everyone. For me, for you too.
What?
Sorry, I should finish my sentence before. Like, for me, take homework, for example, again, like the calendar. That's a deadline for a goal. Like, I want to do my homework, I'll set a deadline for it. If I don't set a deadline, it's not going to happen. Yeah. And for work too, we work the same job right now, and it's pretty much like hands off from our bosses, right? We kind of like
task oriented.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And so you have to, a lot of times, for me at least, I have to set my own deadlines for things.
Yeah.
And it's important to do that because otherwise I won't get it done. I have had a project. I've had many projects that I've been supposed to do that I kind of didn't put on my calendar. And guess what? They didn't get done.
Yeah.
Same with homework. Same with almost every other goal. You have to set yourself a deadline. Even like going back to the gym example, like I'm going to go to the gym today at 6. Yes. That is setting a goal. And maybe you won't end up doing it because something came up or you're too tired at 6 p.m. or something, but you're more likely to get that goal done if you give yourself a time to do it.
Yeah. And I feel like when you
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then even when you do a deadline, and if it's a goal where it's like repeated constantly, like again, exercise or like homework, I feel like when you do that deadline and then you get to it, by the time you get to that deadline, it's kind of already engraved in your routine and you're already doing it as like a habit. Mm-hmm. So then it ends up sticking with you even longer. And then you can just like, when you get to that deadline, you can be like, okay, I still want to do this. Or no, let me tweak it a little bit. And then you set a new deadline. And then, by the time like it just ends up being like a habit or you just kind of end up doing it.
Yes. Habits are something I will talk about a lot in the future. And building habits, because you want to know why? Because I read Atomic Habits, and it's actually really helpful.
I'm supposed to read that. My therapist told me.
You're there. It's actually okay. So I finished it, and I have it with me, like in my apartment. Uh-huh. I can lend it to you if you want, because it's really good and it's really helpful. And I find myself reflecting back to it even today, even though I read it 2 years ago.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Not 2 years ago, maybe last year I read it. Okay, but I still find myself reflecting about it today so often.
Yeah.
Even when I'm like, I don't know, I'm taking out the dishwasher. I'm like, I'll talk more about the more in-depth topics. About the chapters.
Because I haven't read it myself, but like I said, my therapist recommended it. And when she recommended it, it was, I don't remember what we were talking about, but it was to help me kind of like, it was something simple as like doing laundry. She told me like, maybe you know it since you read it, but she told me like just taking out my laundry basket and just having it where I can see it.
Yes.
And then I'll remember to do it. And then it'll make me do it. So now it's like
that goes on the
I
principle. I forgot exactly what the principle states, but I think it's the principle of make the habits you want to create easier for yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Period. Because if it's right there, guess what? It's just that much easier, and then you'll be more likely to do it, and make the bad habits harder to do.
Yeah.
Like putting your phone farther away from you if you don't want to go on it.
True.
Just something simple as that.
True.
Getting back to the topic at hand. We kind of went off on a tangent there. A goal that I've seen a lot is that you have to write it down. It also goes back to kind of the assignment notebook thing and the calendar thing, that if you write it down, you're not going to forget it. It's kind of as simple as that.
Yeah.
Those, if I'm being honest, those are kind of the only things that I write down though. Like calendar, homework.
Oh, yeah.
Like just the more urgent stuff, I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't really write down like in my assignment notebook, like, get off your phone today, bitch. Like, I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe we should try writing down like those more like mundane goals.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not the opposite. I think there was this one time where I was trying to set up my calendar and I was watching a video that was talking about how setting it up in like a productive way. And it was kind of like that, where they like blocked out times for like their goals. But for me, it didn't work, just because if I got to it and I didn't do it, I would like feel bad or just, but like,
also those videos usually aren't from students, I feel like.
Yeah.
They're usually from people with like
a full-time job.
9
to 8, like 9 to 5,
9 to 8. Holy shit.
Like, can you imagine? But it's like for my calendar, I write down
Oh my gosh, that calendar looks awful.
It's not. Like, I write down not only like my assignments, but I write down my shifts, and even stuff like I'm having dinner with my friends tomorrow, it's on there. Because I'm being so serious, I won't remember it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Won't be seeing me. Like, I have this podcast filming on my calendar.
Yeah.
Because if not, I was not going to remember. I
know. You literally almost didn't wake up today.
Yeah, I woke up at like 12. We were supposed to be here at 1. Like.
But yeah, I mean, clearly it works though, writing those types of stuff down. So maybe we should kind of write down our goals for other things like this podcast or something. And even though it's not like time urgent, like it is for like work and homework and scheduling things like this podcast, maybe it'll work.
Yeah, just to have it there.
Yeah. And that was just a little bit of reflecting time.
Yeah.
It's not something I really do when it comes to more like like more future centered goals like these ones, but anyways, maybe we'll try. And the last thing about setting goals is to just start. And we went on that earlier. One thing that I do when it comes to studying is that you kind of just have to start it. And then I realize over time, it gets easier to do it, even in that same session. You know, the hardest part is starting. The hardest part is getting out of bed, putting down my phone, and starting my work. But when I do start my work, it's like I can do it for maybe an hour before I get bored. But an hour is a long time to accomplish things. And at least I'm doing it. So just make sure that you start it.
Yeah, even just starting it like little by little. You don't even have to delve completely into it, you know? Kind of like what you said, like doing an hour and then just getting used to that. And then eventually maybe like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Or like 2 hours, you know? So it doesn't have to be like you need to start it and you have to be perfect at it. It's just like, just do something.
Just get your ass out of bed.
Yeah, just do something
like,
for it.
If you're listening to this in your bed right now, literally get your ass
get up
out of bed. Do your laundry. I know your room's messy. Do your homework. It's due tonight. I'm speaking to myself now.
Me too.
Moving on, we actually want to go over some of our goals that we have for the podcast specifically to start off with, and what we're expecting to get out of this podcast. Because, you know, it's episode 1, and it's important to set goals and think about what you want out of this. Because if I don't want anything out of this, I'm not going to do it. What was the SMART? Can you go over SMART again?
Oh, yeah. So the S and the M are specific and measurable.
Okay.
So kind of like time, you know, like the example, walking for 30 minutes a day.
Okay.
And then A is attainable. So Tuesdays and Thursdays. You know, we film.
Yeah, we film on Sundays, both on Sundays.
And then R is relevant. And then T is time bound.
What relevant?
Relevant, the example is like walking will help to reduce stress.
Okay.
So kind of like a reason or why it's relevant that we should do it.
Oh, yes. Maybe. Yeah. And then what was the last one? Time bound?
Time bound. So it's like kind of like your deadline.
Okay.
Like start like these.
Wow.
Starting tomorrow for.
So we kind of hit all the
Yeah.
We kind of hit everything there.
Yeah. Smart. S-M-A-R-T.
S-M-A-R-T. F-A-R-T. To start off with this podcast, a goal that I had is that I wanted to kind of use this as a platform to be more articulate with my speaking, because I will stutter a lot. I will talk too fast a lot, and it's annoying. And all my teachers are really good at talking, and whenever I go to like an event where it's their job to talk, they're really good at talking because it's their job. And I want to be like that, you know?
Yeah.
I want to be more eloquent and articulate and just kind of also think before I speak.
Yeah.
Because I kind of don't do that a lot. I kind of just talk. Yeah. I kind of just talk sometimes. And I think that'll also help me in like a lot of my friendships as well. True. And a lot of social activities. So S and M. I mean, specific and measurable.
I think just being aware.
Yeah, just being more aware.
Yeah.
And also, I'm sure doing this podcast once a week is going to help me be more articulate with my speaking.
I feel like I have a similar goal, but it's more like I also want to be better in my speaking, but I also want to get better at explaining things. Because I'm really bad at explaining. I'm really bad at explaining things. So I think, especially when we talk about topics like how we were just talking about our goals, I think just practicing to explain things will help me.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, I think specific and measurable is just doing this podcast like once a week.
Oh my god! Even more specifically, I want to stop saying like.
Me too. Okay, I was gonna bring that up.
Oh my gosh!
Okay,
I want to stop saying like so bad. I was gonna
bring that up, but then I was like, because and then I feel like people listening we're gonna just start noticing it, and then they'd get annoyed. Yeah, and then they would just stop listening.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I want to stop saying like. I say a lot.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, when you say that usually means that you're thinking about what you're gonna say, and I don't.
So I don't even.
I'm just saying it to say it. But yeah, I want
to stop saying.
I want to stop saying. But yeah.
Oh, me too. I say that way too. I'm like, but yeah. Especially when.
Like, why can't I just talk normally?
I don't know.
Like talk. I don't. Okay.
No. So okay. Yes. So. See, for the like thing, I think that is just also being aware.
Yes.
Okay.
And even talking slower.
I think that is
another thing that I want to do. Like when it comes to more articulate speaking, you have to talk slower so you can give yourself time to think.
Yeah.
And right now I'm talking really fast. You see? Okay.
I think another goal is, this is more so my personal life, but I want to stop cussing. Because because
I have to stop cussing.
Because it leaks into my professional life, obviously.
Yeah, we were in a work meeting the other day, and it kind of was my fault. I kind of, I was like making fun of Genesis, and she straight up went, "Bitch."
The room was silent. Like
no, yeah. Right in front of our supervisor.
Okay, I was sitting right next to her actually. Like, I need to just stop doing that.
Yeah.
And not just because it's leaking into my work life, but also because I just don't want to do it. I don't know. I actually, a fun fact, I went the majority of my life not cussing.
Me too.
It was for me because of like growing up in a religion. I can get into. I think later,
me too.
Which we can get into religion later.
Yeah.
But
absolutely. That actually, that kind of leaks into some of my unpopular opinions.
Yeah.
But it can also be just an entire different topic for an entire different podcast episode. I mean,
but yeah, I went my entire life not cussing until maybe high school.
Me too.
Okay, so I didn't know that.
It was really embarrassing to me actually because it was. I went to a Catholic school, so that's definitely partly why. But in middle school, I remember telling everyone I've never cussed in my entire life. That was such a lie. I've maybe cussed a couple times.
Yeah.
But then high school hit, and I went to a public school with a lot of white people. Not that there's anything wrong with being white. Don't cancel. I'm kidding.
See, I went to a public high school, but it was with majority Mexican people.
Actually, my high school was also a majority Mexican people.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, so I don't even know when I started cussing in high school, but the fact that I wasn't even doing it during high school I'm surprised I didn't get.
And then today we're like, cuss. What's your favorite cuss word? Maybe fuck.
Maybe fuck.
Wait, what's your favorite cuss word though?
Ooh.
It's kind of tough. I have like 3 in my mind.
Me too.
Yeah.
I kind of like shit because it just comes out.
Yeah. It's so natural.
Yeah, and it's for everything. It's just like shit.
Yeah.
But I don't say that as often. Surprisingly, I keep saying bitch more often.
Really? I think my favorite cuss word is either maybe maybe bitch, shit, fuck, or motherfucker.
Okay, it's funny when you say motherfucker. It's so I used to not say that until I started hanging out with you actually. Because it's funny.
No, it's funny. Did you know that's Kamala Harris's favorite?
Are you serious?
Kamala Harris's favorite cuss word?
Really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Motherfucker.
I like saying okay, I say fuck and then I say shit right after that. But then fuck shit. But then it reminds me of this character from mid-90s. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It's a movie and there's a character in there and his name is fuck shit. So every time I say fuck shit and then after that I laugh at myself and I say fuck shit because I'm thinking about him. So I don't know.
It's kind of embarrassing.
I know. But let me pull up this picture of this kid. This is him. This is fuck shit. I'm being so serious.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
Okay. But yeah, no, that's why it's so funny. But I like saying cuss words in Spanish too, but when I say a cuss word in Spanish, that's how you know when I'm actually angry.
Oh,
because I don't say it often.
Well, I've never heard you say it, so good.
Okay, cool.
Period.
So when I do say that,
when I'm actually angry, I kind of just start crying.
Well, okay, yeah, me too, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't get angry that often though, actually, which is good.
Neither.
Yeah.
Which is good for me because I used to be an angry child.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I also used to be an angry child because my brother would never let me play Minecraft on his laptop. And I didn't have my own laptop. And I would get so angry.
Oh, well.
Yep.
But now you have your own laptop.
I have my own PC.
You have your own PC.
And if you guys want to watch us play video games, we both have Twitches.
I haven't made mine yet.
Okay, well, I
will make my Twitch now.
And we'll start streaming soon. I have a Twitch and I already started streaming. I stream every Sunday at around 8 p.m. And I also stream more throughout the week, but those days are going to be a surprise when I feel like it.
Whenever
I feel like it. Sunday is just my content creation day, I guess.
I think it's just because it's our most free day.
Yeah. I don't have anything scheduled for Sundays ever.
Me either.
No. Period. Okay, well, back to the topic.
Oh, yeah.
And setting goals. What's the A? I think it's attainable. We never finished the articulate speaking. Attainable.
Well, I think it's still doing it once a week.
Yeah.
Sundays.
Because then we're actually applying it.
And just...
This one's easy. This should be a homework assignment.
Just being aware of it.
Yeah.
While we're here.
And then R is relevance because it'll help me literally in every other aspect of my life.
Literally.
Like in school, like during class speeches, presentations, for work too. We speak a lot in work.
Specifically for work.
Yeah.
Because we're always out there speaking to people.
Yes,
so.
always.
And then time bound, which is starting now.
Yes, because we're doing the podcast right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Period. The second bullet point that I had is that I wanted to share more knowledge of my self-improvement. And we kind of went a little into depth about why this is earlier, because I think that sharing my knowledge, it'll help me stop being a hypocrite and actually like put it into my own life. And I'll actually do it, because explaining things and teaching it to other people is, I mean, that's the way to go. Just going to speed run through these. I want to get sponsored by Opal.
They will be getting tagged.
Yeah. Tagging them right now. Opal, please sponsor us. I genuinely use your products.
Me too.
Your app. And then I also wanted to learn more by inviting new guests and doing like actual research.
Yeah.
And we actually kind of already started doing that a little bit by like kind of looking up different ways that we can add on to these topics, like the definition of what it means to set goals and what SMART even is. I'd never even heard of it until now. So that's really good. And it's actually like, even though we're kind of using it on a very already specific topic, it's kind of helped already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I already said learn by inviting new guests, but it kind of goes back to sharing my knowledge of self-improvement with others, because, I mean, if they do the same, we can help each other out.
Yeah. And then on top of also just working on, like, I guess not like marketing, but just like advertising our
I want to go
podcast.
all out with this podcast.
Yeah. So like how we've created social media for it, and we've taken pictures for it, and we've worked on the covers and stuff like that. But also an idea that I had when we were literally just starting this was working on getting kind of merchandise for us. Obviously not like selling it, because this is like episode because this is episode 1, unless people are interested off the bat, which Opal, they might be.
Sponsor
Opal.
Opal, do you want our hoodie?
So I feel like one thing is working on that, and that also ties into just our presentation of like these videos, and specifically for the video, for those watching the video, is how we present and where we are and how the space looks. So I think working on getting merchandise for us that is for this podcast would work for when we're filming, and also just when we're out and about. Because some people are like, oh my God, what is that?
What is Persona Vibe? That sounds epic.
And then we'll be like, yeah,
that's our podcast.
See, and then advertising.
Yeah, period.
Yeah.
I do think going all out with this podcast, like in terms of merch too, it's like, then what reason would we have to stop? It would have to be really bad. That also goes back to setting goals of like overall the podcast. Like we don't want to like end this for a while at least. So what goals can we do to improve our experience here and your experience, and just like make the podcast better so that we continue to do it.
I think another one is also expanding Persona Vibe, because our original idea was, yes, Persona Vibe is for the podcast, but it's also a central hub for all of our content creation.
We wanna do food videos.
Chris is gonna teach me how to cook.
And I have to teach Genesis how to cook, because last time she made an egg, she burnt her face.
I did burn
like 3 marks all over her chin.
I did. So
I'm like, how do you even do that?
I don't know. So I need to learn how to cook. And also, what other was? Our food. We want to review like food places. And just also, since we have our Twitch and gaming stuff, it probably wouldn't be under this, but it would still be
separate.
I don't know. Like, would it be like
I was
'Cause-
thinking that eventually we could live stream our podcasts.
Ooh.
Yeah,
that
on
would be
Twitch, because
fun.
there's a podcast section.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
On Twitch, yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Catch us there.
Yeah. But I for like our gaming stuff, like if we ever make a Minecraft series, for example, that is something we
Absolutely.
can post like either on this channel or on our separate ones. But either way, it's like our central hub for all of our content creation ideas that we
Yes,
have.
absolutely.
So I think also just starting, that was a point.
Starting,
it.
and guess what we did? We
We
postponed it a week, but we're starting now.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
rescheduled, and that's it, and we're doing it.
And now we're doing it, and now we genuinely can't stop. Otherwise, we're failures.
No.
But yeah, going back to like something similar, like last year I started like a small business. I want to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah.
Shut up.
What? I didn't say anything.
Last year I started a small business where I like made cookies and did like custom cakes for people's like custom orders for like birthdays and everything. And I even like took some of my baked goods to markets pretty often. And I started building this brand for myself. I made, I like bought this huge banner that had my logo on it. My Instagram is kind of popping. Business cards everywhere, stickers, and making that brand for myself. Like even today, I can say that I kind of want to slow down on it a little bit, but I can't stop. Even if I wanted to, I literally cannot stop because now my name's out there
Yeah.
too. Now I have almost 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Damn.
And people reach out to me for stuff and I can't just say no. I have to keep going even if I want to. And that came out of a lot of like good goal setting.
Consistency.
Consistency where I wanted the business to go. And I think if we do the same here, then we could maybe in a positive way, reach a point of no return where hopefully we'll kind of like be doing this like for long enough. If we have merch, I'm not letting that go to waste by just
Yeah.
ending this podcast. So
Yeah.
hopefully that is one of our goals, to reach a point where we kind of can only stop because we really want to.
Yeah.
Period. But anyways, that's all we have for you guys.
Yeah.
Be smart. SMART. Wait, is that how you spell smart? Yeah. SMART with your goal setting. And just always stay alert when it comes to it so you can improve your life.
Yeah.
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 And that you can follow your dreams.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yep. This was episode 1. Persona Vibe.
Persona vibe. See you guys next week. Say bye.
Bye bye.